I am Anna and you are watching Hope in Bulgaria. We recently found a community out in Bulgaria that is walking distance from Nadezhda, and it is called Buraki, which means train station area. There are 60 houses there, and so I should imagine that the population is around a couple of hundred people. I'll explain to you later how we found them. But for now, I'm just going to share with you that when we found them living without water and without electricity. They still don't have electricity, but thank you to those of you that donated through Mission Trip July. We were able to change the lives of the families living there, and it was absolutely incredible. We had agreed recently that we were going to stop doing building projects. It's not what we go out to do, but we come across need. And if the money comes in, we do. But it's a lot of work. It does give the locals employment, so we are not against it, but we're just a small team of independent missionaries and building projects are big. So we had decided that we were gonna stop. But then we found a pregnant lady sleeping outside because her house had burnt down in what we could only describe as a fire tornado. We found a young mum with her disabled husband and 4 children living in what we cannot even call a shed. Jordanka down at the dump in Nadezhda had had a serious operation. Her bed was broken. She was sleeping on the floor as recovering from surgery. There was one thing after another, and I am very happy to share with you, although very exhausted and out of money, that we carried out and have almost completed 10 makeovers, building projects. I mean, from as little as installing a door and window for safety to knocking down a house and completely rebuilding it. In the last 2 months, we have done 10, and that is a record. So very exciting times, bringing water to Buraki. I was going to explain to you how we found Buraki. It was remarkable. A lady from Nadezhda reached out to me on social media. I knew her from when I lived in Nadezhda, and she said, Anna, please, there is a community and they really need you. The living conditions are worse than Nadezhda. I don't know if I can deal with that. And I said to her, I will come and maybe we'll put on a soup kitchen event. And I can't make any promises because we are up to our eyeballs in serving Nadezhda. And then one of our mums from down at the dump, couldn't find her, and this was around a year ago, Maria. She has had 3 children, they were all sponsored. And I asked Bojidar if he was able to locate her, and it took a while, but it turned out that she had left Nadezhda. Her husband had been sentenced to prison. She found out that she was pregnant with their 4th child, and he pleaded with her to get out of Nadezhda, and her sister lives in Buraki. So she moved into Buraki. She sacrificed having electricity and water for a safer environment, a more quiet, better for the children. And so when I found her, I said, Maria, can you take me to show me where you're living now? And she said yes. And she walked to the back of the dump, across the train tracks. And as we started walking into Buraki, I remembered the message that my friend on social media had messaged me saying that there was a community. And I realised I was walking into that community. And so I know it was meant to happen. We were meant to find Buraki. But it was heart-wrenching seeing the conditions of some of the families living there. Was worse. We've been serving Nadezhda for nearly 10 years. But Buraki is a quiet place. I mean, there's no electricity, so they can't play music. There's so much peace and joy there. But the families that are living there, and somehow they managed to keep their children so clean. They're so clean. But they had no water. So we brought water to Buraki. There was money left over from the fundraising because Bojidar knew a pastor that was friends with the guy at the water company. So we managed to cut a deal with them, and they ended up putting the water back on for half the original debt. That what had happened was that Buraki was being built as a community. So they would just receive one bill for the whole of the 60 families, and a lot of them are illiterate. And so, they fell into debt. And the water was cut off, and it had been cut off for 3 years. These families had been living without water. They'd had to walk, it's more than a mile to Nadezhda dump. They'd had to do that walk with bottles like this for 3 years. And so the rejoice that happened when the water came on was really emotional. And the money that we had left, because we only had to pay half price to get the water put back on, was sewn into Maria's house. We leveled the floor for her and we tiled. We had to rebuild the front wall of her house so that it could hold the weight of a safe, secure door and window. And then opened Soup Kitchen 3 in her home. And so now her and her friends cook every week, serving up beautiful meals to the community, to Buraki. And once all of the children living in Buraki are sponsored, it will fund itself. So that is a work in progress. But so now Hope in Bulgaria has 3 soup kitchens. And myself, Natasha, and our girls are heading out again on Monday. So please reach out. I am going to try and do a better job. The videos that I post, usually when I'm out, I film them upright. And so when I post them onto YouTube, they're not posting as regular videos, they're posting as shorts. But please look out for them. We've got 100,000 people following us on social media now, but YouTube is a really slow platform for us. So I do apologise that I have been getting behind with posting. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and we are on TikTok. And our goal at the moment is to spread awareness about the mistreatment of Romani people, breaking a stereotype, a heavy oppression that has been over them for far too long. So help us. We are going to be breaking bread with the families that have been given their new made over homes this mission trip. I will quickly go through the list. We bless Dora with insulation and a door. We bless Jordanka with a levelled floor and a door and furniture. Maria Soup Kitchen, I already told you what she got. Stefka and Rosini, I mean, this is a family of 15 people living in one room, so they got a full makeover. They now have 4 rooms and they have all been insulated. The floors have been levelled, they've been tiled, and we are in the process of installing doors, windows and furniture for them so that they can live, they're down at the dump, you know, but so that they can live a cleaner life with more space. The children were looking exhausted all the time because there was just nowhere for them to sleep in their tiny little home. No door, no window, and the dirt from the dump was just blowing into their house. And so that was a priority for us. Anka, that was living in a shed with her 4 children, we've knocked it down and totally made it over. We are just waiting for the roof to dry so that we can start with the interior. In fact, yesterday the floor was levelled, and the next stage of that project is to insulate the walls. We will then need to install a door and window, put tiles on the floor, and then furniture for them, and that project will be complete. Simeon in Baraki, one sponsor, sent money to level the floor and to put a door and window and furniture for them. Mima and Amelia, one of the families at the block, again a single mum, so we wanted her to have a secure door and window, so she is being blessed this week. The hub, we tiled the hub. Finally, the hub has tiles. Not finished yet, but it has tiles, and the learning centre had a very leaky roof, and that has been fixed. Those 2 buildings are our buildings, the hub and the learning centre. They are both still work in progresses. So if you do want to contribute towards building projects, we're not going to take on any more unless I say that. Wait and see. But we do still have some things that we have not yet finished. Praise report, friends. We have more than 200 children sponsored. 50 of them are from Baraki. Sponsorship in Baraki is growing very quickly. Stay tuned. I will do my very best to keep YouTube up to date with what is going on out in Nadezhda and Baraki. God bless you. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. Those of you that are sponsoring children, we appreciate you. And those of you that sow into general fund, we could not do this without you. God bless you and thank you. Slava Naboga.